Greetings, R. Frederick Riddle here with another Christian News and Views, episode 61. Now, today is a big day. It's all over the news, papers, everywhere. This is Inauguration Day of Donald Trump as President of the United States. Now, I've copied a article, or a portion of an article, from CBS News that I want to read to you, and then I will comment on it. It goes like this. The inauguration marks the official transfer of presidential power, with the executive branch changing hands from the Biden administration to the Trump administration. The 20th Amendment states that a president's four-year term ends at noon on January 20th, and the president-elect is sworn in shortly after. The inauguration or the inaugural ceremonies of the president-elect and vice president-elect are planned by the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, led this year by Senator Amy Klobuchar, a Democrat from Minnesota. The committee oversees 8 events on inaugural day. The procession to the Capitol. Now these are the events. The procession to the Capitol, the vice president's swearing-in ceremony, the president's swearing-in ceremony, the inaugural address, the honorary departure of the outgoing president and vice president, the signing ceremony during which the new president signs nominations, memorandums, proclamations, or executive orders, the inaugural luncheon, the pass review during which the president and vice president review military troops, and the presidential parade, which will take place at Capitol One Arena in downtown Washington due to the cold. Because of the weather, the inauguration itself has been moved inside the White House. So instead of being outside, it's going to be inside because they are having some rather cold weather there. I can appreciate that, having been from the north myself. Down here, it's rather much warmer than up there. So I want to give you my opinion on this. So while the Democrats are still questioning one another and pointing fingers, Donald Trump takes office. Let me just pause there. You can, if you've been reading your paper, following the news at all, the Democrats are still doing that. They're still pointing fingers at one another. They're still arguing about what they did right and what they did wrong. Mostly they did wrong, but they're still discussing it. And one of the things that I have noticed is that they hardly ever say, we made a mistake. Our policies were wrong. What we did as the Biden administration or a Democratic Congress, we were wrong. And American people are right in what they have judged, and we're going to try to be better. They don't say any of that. No, they point fingers at one another. And they still will tell lies about President Trump. Some people, unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there who believe those lies. But if they were to really stop and dissect the lies, they would find, like I've pointed out before, that what happens is the press, for instance, like in the news in particular on TV, they have to do this, where they cut out what you might call sound bites, and the rest of the stuff of their videos end up on the floor, so to speak. Why? Because they've only got so many minutes to put on the air, their news. So they have to condense it and condense it down to a manageable news report. But what they have done in recent years, as they've taken them and in their process of cutting things down, they have taken news from one side, one part of a message perhaps, and news from another, the same message but another spot, or sometimes they'll be totally different messages. And they take them and combine them together. So they take two truths, combine them together and say this is what he said, addressing a particular topic. When the truth of the matter is, what he said on one side was one topic that he was addressing, and another one was a different topic that he was addressing. But by merging them together, it looks like Donald Trump said something, and then they say, well, that's a lie. And so they do that a lot. And most of the lies that Donald Trump is said to have taken are of that nature. They created the lie, and then they pointed out, oh, look what he said. That's a lie. And so that is something that you have to be alert to whenever the press is reporting, not only about President Trump, but on just about anything out there. They have an agenda, and they will manipulate the data that they have at their fingertips and move it around so that it says what they want it to say. And so that's one of the things they're doing, and then it enables them to point fingers. So, but while they're doing all this, President Trump is expected to is taken into office. He's going to be the new president, and he's going to sign a lot of presidential executive orders and the like. What was that list? He's going to be signing. He'll be signing nominations, memorandums, proclamations, or executive orders. So he's going to do quite a bit of work in that first day, as well as they're going to be partying, of course. You can't have something taking place in Washington, D.C. without some kind of a party. But he's going to be expected to sign these orders, some of which will set or roll back President Biden's executive orders, nominations, and so forth. Anything that he is able to do, he's going to do by executive order. And so that is one of the things that we can see going on. What can we expect? Well, this is strictly my opinion, mind you, based on what I saw in the first 4 years of office for Trump. I believe we will see a tone set that is similar to his first term, but updated to reflect a changed world. In any case, he will have to undo as much of President Biden's actions as he can, and I've already mentioned that. Then he will lay a foundation for going forward. And all this is going to take place in both his message and his executive orders. I expect that the executive orders will be his primary tool as he takes office. Now he'll change and adapt, and he already, having had 4 years of experience, he knows what tools to use. So he'll grab those power tools right away. He doesn't have to take a year or so to learn how to manipulate them. And so he will take them and he will start doing things. So while Democrats and liberals will disagree with me, it is my opinion that in his first term, President Trump was largely successful in imposing his will or putting his stamp on foreign policy that enabled America to regain leadership of the world, a leadership that had been slipping. That leadership has been largely diffused or undone by the Biden administration. So he's gonna, one of his goals will be to get that reputation back, get everything. And by the way, foreign leaders are watching all this. They know just better than I do what Trump did. And so some of them might be fearful. Some of them might be secretly happy. They've had enough of Biden's weakness. But they're not going to say it out loud. But they're kind of secretly happy about Trump because he is somebody that they now know and understand and they can work with. So I think that that's going to be something to watch. I also expect President Trump to hit the ground running. We may see a few surprises that no one predicted. And as I have noted here before, I would not be surprised if he offered President Putin of Russia a deal that he, Putin, will not be able to refuse, though he's going to want to. It's not one he's going to like. And I'm talking about a deal about Ukraine. and perhaps other issues as well. China, on the other hand, is probably not going to really embrace him either, but they're going to see a stronger voice, a stronger America, and they're going to start seeing some policies come around that will may not be happy with. Now, Putin in his last days signed a bill, signed a law, I think it was, that about TikTok. Well, President Trump may have something to say or do about that. He can delay the enforcement of that if he wants to, just to see if TikTok can get new management, preferably not one that's owned by China. We'll see how that goes. But that's something right there that is going to come up front and center, I think, later today or sometime today, anyhow. All in all, a new era will begin. I believe that in these next 4 years, he will lay a new foundation for America to go forward that the next Republican president after him can build upon. Now, if the Republicans fritter away this opportunity and get cast out of government, the Democrats will come rushing back in. They'll undo everything that has been done, and America will start to sink again. And who knows if we'll ever have another opportunity to reclaim American exceptionalism, America's greatness, successes, and if the Christianity will have the freedom to move. Because under Trump, he gets the government out of the way. He stops he moves the government regulations. He'll cancel some or delay some or move or get rid of them, but he will get government out of the way so Christians can worship God, run their businesses as God tells them to run it in the Bible, and things of this nature that will enable Christians to thrive. Well, if the Republicans don't back him, don't work with him instead of fighting all that infighting that they have been known for in the past, then that opportunity will be lost. We'll have 4 years of that freedom, and then we'll come in the dictatorship of the Democrats, is what I call it, because that's what they do. They start telling you what you can and cannot do, and they start favoring anything but Christianity and bringing them up. And it's just like with the Israelis. The Biden administration has verbally supported Israel, but they have not always backed Israel the way they should. Maybe they sort of a lukewarm backing. So now, what I would like to pass on to you, is that right below here is the opportunity for you to subscribe to my channel, TR Independent Books. And so, if you like this channel, if you like what I have to say about just listening to me as I provide a Christian viewpoint of the Bible, or not only the Bible, but of the news of the day, then why not subscribe? By subscribing, you not only get this podcast, which is Christian News and Views, but you will also get my other one on this channel called Becoming a Published Author is Fun, which if you are somebody who wants to be a writer, you can, especially if you want to do it yourself, I provide tips. And I think I give a lot of tips that you may not get elsewhere. They're taken from my course. They're taken from my own experiences. They're taken and they're passed on to you free of charge. In my course that I teach and coach, I go deeper. But I give you stuff that you can use now. Stuff that will be a foundation for you to build, be transformed into a published author. At the very least, it will get you on a better, a more level playing field, so that you can have some form of success depending upon your own efforts and how you use those tips. But when you sign up or subscribe, you are also going to be encouraging me. I just started this podcast this year, and I'm enjoying it. I hope you are. I have been enjoying it. So I want to encourage you to subscribe. And I promise you, I will do all in my power to create episodes that will inform, encourage, and inspire you. And that is what I was doing in this episode, and I will do in future ones. I just want you to be able to look at this and check it out. Uh, I refer to, and I teach that the King James Bible is the only Bible for English speaking people. One of the reasons is because it's the only Bible based on the Textus Receptus, which is not the copies in existence may not be the oldest copies, but they are the only ones that go straight line all the way back to Antioch, Syria. All the others, every one of those other versions, all go back to Alexandria, Egypt, where there were some, they had the largest library available, but they also had pagans, they had all sorts of crazy rites and stuff like that. Now, rites, I mean rites. They had superstitions, everything, and these things got into their version of the scriptures. And so they started out corrupt, and they're corrupt today. So there's the English, the King James Version, and then there's all the corrupt versions. I would recommend you go with the King James. And I talk to you about that every Thursday. I use the King James to look at different aspects. Lately, I've been looking at Jesus Christ himself and what the Bible says, what Jesus said about himself, and what people who knew him said about Jesus Christ. So it's it's almost a no holds barred thing. I go out there and I tackle just about any um, topic that I can think of. And you're welcome to suggest topics to me as well. So if you, I would again, subscribe and you get all that for free. In the meantime, I will see you. Oh, by the way, if you don't have it on yet, watch the inauguration. It's no matter who's getting nominated, who's getting inaugurated into the presidency, who's taking office. It's always something interesting and informative to watch. You enjoy, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode.